Hello, Melamed community. We're welcoming you back to Don't Let That White Coat Fool You. I'm Dr. Norma Mobley, along with my dear friend.
Dr. Sharon Dixon, glad to join you from afar this time.
That's right. And we want to remind you, please like, subscribe, and share. We keep seeing that number going up, and we enjoy it, and we enjoy the comments. So continue doing that, please. So,
We got a barn burner for them today,
okay,
and I
that's
can't
right.
wait for you to tell them about it. What are we doing today?
So, we have often talked about wellness in so many other capacities. We've talked about physical well being, mental health well being, career wellness, but we haven't touched upon financial wellness. And that is a very, very, very big deal. It's very important. So, we're going to talk about medical debt and the hidden stressors upon women physicians of color. And in order to do that, because I'm definitely not the expert, how about you?
Not at all. That's why we're here.
So we have someone here with us today, Lamont McIntosh. We'd like to welcome you. Please introduce yourself.
Like you just said, my name is Lamont McIntosh, financial advisor. I own a practice here at Manhattan Ridge Advisors in Atlanta, and I've been practicing now 12 years this month, actually. Retired from playing professional basketball abroad for 10 years, and I'm just happy to be here with these lovely ladies to talk about how we can improve the financial wellness of women like you all in the medical world.
Yes, so a lot of times I talk about my stylist and I call her my hair doctor. When I go take care of my hands and feet,
Yeah.
I say, "You're my nail doctor. Come on, you're going to be our money doctor today."
Why not?
Okay, so let's talk about it.
I don't know
So,
which one of these fingers I'm supposed to be doing, but all of that.
so let's talk about it.
Yep.
For women of color, the medical debt issue is associated with financial anxiety.
Sure.
I know I have felt it a lot myself. How about you, Prasharon?
Yeah, absolutely. And you just never know what's coming at you, right? And we hold so many roles, not only as physicians, but oftentimes we bring quite a bit into our homes. So getting on the road to financial security is important early on.
Right, and they definitely don't teach us about business in medical school, that's for sure. And so, for us as women of color, compounded with systemic racism and the gender disparities,
Sure.
how do we go about trying to combat that so that we don't get overwhelmed?
Well, first and foremost, I would say is most anxiety comes from lack of preparation, right? And so, not in a critical way, but in a way that most people don't plan for. I'm gonna call it success because it is success of being a woman in medicine, whether you're an employee making a good salary or someone who owns their own practice and dealing with the business side of being not only a practicing doctor, but also running a business, right? So if they're not teaching you that in medical school, where are you going to learn that from, right?
Hard knocks, man, I'll tell you that for sure.
Yeah, and so people like myself have the opportunity to partner with doctors and their practices because you're like every other business owner, you just have a different craft, right? And so the idea is like, hey, let's lay everything on the table. Let's get a diagnosis, right? You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Let's see what it is. You can't treat just the symptoms. You have to know the cause, right? And then you also have to know the vision for the treatment once you diagnose and come up with the solution. And so that's where I come in. Hey, let's dump everything on the table. Let's look through it. Let's sort through it all. Let's separate it. Let's have a organized strategy to attack this. In this case, you're talking about medical debt. Part of the reason why you take on debt is hopefully to be able to invest in your practice, to grow it, to scale it, to be able to provide optimal service for your clients. But then it's about how does that tie into the business thing? So looking at revenue, looking at P&Ls, profit and losses for those who may not understand that language, and then seeing, okay, how do I separate my personal from my professional? And that's the hardest part.
So, one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that once you get your medical degree, yes, you're called doctor and whatever your last name is,
Sure.
but you go into residency.
Yes.
Residents do not get much in the way of income, but you still
Sure.
have that medical school debt that you have to contend with.
Yeah.
So what do you say about that?
Again, having a plan for it. You know it's coming. When you sign up to be, either a pre-med major, biology, whatever it is, you know that is coming, right? And so having an idea of like how you want to attack it. Do you take a certain course of career so that maybe there's some forgiveness opportunities, right? Or, sometimes it's okay to live below your means, you know what I'm saying, for a while, because at the end of the day, it's like me when I play basketball. When you've never had it, it's hard to miss it. And so when you start making the money, if you've already created good habits of taking care of yourself in a way that you're not stretched financially, when you do have that debt come in, because you're going to be making 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 plus, right? As a medical doctor, I think then it's easier to, I guess, digest those types of things, right?
Okay, so you're calling out some big numbers, brother. I'm a pediatrician, so
Right,
let me
okay.
just talk about a few statistics.
Sure.
So when we talk about the payment disparity and the gap based on gender, one of the things we notice is that white male physicians are always the top earners.
Sure.
After that, women are going to get paid anywhere from 18% to 36% less than their male counterparts. Then factoring in race,
Yeah.
Black women and Hispanic women physicians tend to get paid less than their Caucasian counterparts, even with that. And so you might say, so why is it 18 to 36%? So the 18% gap is usually in primary care, but that higher range is for those subspecialties like
Gotcha.
surgery.
Yep.
And I just want to say that there are not very many of us, as far as women of color, in those elite
Categories.
type fields. Yes.
Gotcha.
So take transplant surgeons, for example. There are only 15 in the whole country that are Black women. The very first was Dr. Scalaberry, and that was in 1989. So it's been almost 40 years, and we still only have 15. And my sister
I was just
one.
going to add to that, typically for Black women in medicine, many of us focus in on the primary care fields
Yes.
because we tend to want to take care of the masses, or we're focused in on our communities who are in need of primary care. And so we just won't make the same kind of money as someone else who chooses transplant or radiation oncology or these other types of specialty fields. But it's not always something we're thinking about. Like I really like what you said about starting at the beginning, thinking about it even down to medical school and residency.
Sure.
I wasn't thinking about that. My main thing was, let me get into a medical school. I really didn't, really look at, okay, well, let's see if I'll have less debt if I'm here.
Once you get
I'm
in,
just
it's
trying to go
like,
to
let me
school.
get out.
Right. Trying to just
Let me
get through it.
pass all these exams, get my license.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
So
So that I love what you said about, getting that kind of information early on as a part of the process of us thinking about where we're going with our careers.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously being preemptive, always going to help when you're dealing with anything, even any career path, quite honestly, but especially you all, because there's such a unique debt situation that you talked about. And so, like I said, anxiety usually stems from not knowing what to do.
Exactly.
And it becomes overwhelming, right? And so I'm not a mental health specialist, but I know even for myself, if I have too many things that I have to do, I have to take a beat and I'm like, hey, you know what? Calm down. Calm down, and let's bite this elephant one bite at a time, so to speak. And so if we can get in early, mentorship from ladies like yourselves, right, to younger doctors, you know what I'm saying, and helping them understand, hey, look, we understand the pressures of getting through the exams, getting in a position to be a doctor, but let's not put too far on the back burner what you need to do once you get there. Because if you wait till you just get to the finish line, right, then that's when it all comes crashing down, right? So specifically, a strategy specifically about attacking the debt, though, is really just analyzing the debt.
Okay.
What type of debt is it, right? Okay, what are the terms on it? Is it something that can be refinanced? Is it something that you can work out with creditors or lenders to be able to get rid of in general? Because a lot of times creditors, I'm not going to talk bad about the banks and institutions, but they have a lot of mechanisms in place that protect them over time. And so there may be some forgiveness opportunities there. But more than likely, it's just really just putting into the budget once you start making income, whether it is, unfortunately, and I hate to hear that, but that's across corporate America in general, those gender gaps when it comes to pay, but just having a plan on whatever scale that your income is going to be able to allocate some of the income towards that, right? And so it's literally, sometimes you don't realize, when I do budgets with clients, and I work with some doctors, psychologists, I guess more on the mental health side, but also medical doctors, pediatricians and physicians and so on and so forth. And it's like, they don't realize how much they're really spending when they put it on black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the average American as well. It's like, listen, so you tell them, hey, so you make this, you spent that, there's this gap right here. No, that can't be true. That can't be true.
And there's no safety net
Yeah.
that's been established.
Yeah, but because we spend, because we're a swipe card or tap to pay type of society, and we're not monitoring what we spend. So a lot of times what I'm able to uncover for clients and potential clients is, it's a few $100s probably on average that we can allocate that can make a huge difference on tackling debt and also creating that cash reserve that you talked about. But you have to be intentional about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just, again, diagnosis is probably my biggest thing I would say. Let's look at the whole picture. And then from there, we can identify opportunities to improve that. And once you know, okay, I actually do have an opportunity to save. Maybe not as much as I want, right? Or I can tackle that debt, but at least I have a plan. And usually when you have a plan, that's when the anxiety comes.
But you know what,
Thank you
Lamont,
so much.
and Dr. Mobley, I'm sorry, I'm so excited about this conversation. I was just thinking about that. This really fits into what we try to tell our patients about preventative care.
Bingo.
Like this is a part of wellness, making sure that you do all these things before it becomes a disease, before it becomes an active part of making you sick, literally making you sick. So I love that. I love that idea of incorporating it early, and hope that our physician friends are listening to us today. But it also applies to those that we take care of every day. We don't always get this in our community. I didn't get this growing up. I didn't get it in college. I really did. Yeah, I knew my parents were doing something, but I didn't know about their finances. I really just was there and doing whatever they do. So I think there might be other communities that start their families young, understanding money, how money moves, how to save, and how to grow their dollars. So this applies to everybody. So thank you.
It's my pleasure.
So there you have it, Melamed community. Whether you are an early career physician, in the middle, or a little bit seasoned, everybody can get started and combat that financial anxiety just by getting the diagnosis and getting an early treatment plan. But prevention is the key.